What is up, Pats Nation? It is Patriots Global here with another video, and a lot of you, and when I say a lot, I mean a lot, requested me to make a video about the Patriots releasing wide receiver Corey Coleman. Now, I actually wasn't going to make a video on him being released only because he was released from the practice squad, and when players are signed to the practice squad or released from the practice squad, I usually do not make videos about them because the Patriots are constantly making moves to the practice squad, always adding players, always releasing players, and sometimes it's releasing a player and then bringing him back 2 weeks later. I mean, the Patriots have released one wide receiver about 3 times now. I mean, they're just constantly adding and cutting guys, so making a video about it is kind of contradictory because it's like, alright, I'll make a video on this guy getting cut, but then he'll be signed, and then I make a video on him getting signed, and then he gets cut again. So that's usually why I don't make videos on practice squad cuttings or signings. But on the video I made yesterday about what we learned from the Patriots win over the Dolphins, which a lot of you guys actually really liked, which I was actually surprised about. Getting great feedback on that video, so thank you guys so much for that. But yeah, you guys pretty much started blowing up the comments on that video and some other videos just asking me to make a video about this. So like always, if there's something you guys want to see, let me know, and this is what you guys want to see, so I will make the content. But yes, Colman is again without a job in the NFL. The Pats had originally signed Colman on September 11th after the Buffalo Bills had released him. The Bills ended up acquiring him from the Cleveland Browns when Colman basically demanded his release. And so the Cleveland Browns basically traded him to the Buffalo Bills for a 7th round pick. If you want to know a lot more about Colman and when he was signed to the Patriots and just more of an outlook on how he was with the Patriots and just ultimately more about who he is as a football player, go and check out my video I made on when the Pats signed him, way more descriptive and detailed than I'm going to give in this video. But yeah, and then the Bills released him, like I said, when the preseason roster cutdowns ended up coming along. And it was a pretty decent signing, wasn't anything crazy, but when you kind of become a failed first round pick, aren't doing great with the Cleveland Browns, I mean, you're kind of a second string wide receiver for the Cleveland Browns, then you don't work out for the Buffalo Bills, obviously something's going on with you. The Pats ended up making that trade then for Josh Gordon, and a lot of people were like, yo, Colman and Josh Gordon on this Patriots team is going to be crazy, as they were teammates in Cleveland. But no, basically they brought Josh Gordon in, and that was basically Colman's replacement because Colman ended up getting cut. A lot of people got pretty upset when they cut him. They wanted to see him play. I mean, when they signed him, they kept him inactive for I believe the Jags game it was. It was either the Jags game or the Lions game, but I believe it was the Jags. In fact, he didn't even make the trip. It is one thing to go inactive for the game, and then there's a total other thing for Bill Belichick to be like, you're not even coming on the trip with us. 8 days later, the Patriots contact Colman and they sign him to the practice squad, and a lot of people loved this move. I personally also really liked this move. It wasn't something that I considered to be something that was going to help us this season, but it kind of reminded me more of a Philip Dorsett type of thing, a failed first round pick that has the talent but just isn't necessarily needed. I mean, he was needed, but the Patriots needed a lot more than what he was offering. But if they were to keep him for the whole offseason the following year, when he can learn the playbook, he can get chemistry down with Brady, and just having that training camp next season and all that stuff, I think that would have been great for Colman, and that could have been a great benefit. I mean, like I said earlier, the Patriots are always signing people and letting people go to the practice squad. I mean, they even do it on the roster, and they do it even more on the practice squad, so I wouldn't be surprised if we did see him back at some point. I mean, literally no teams whatsoever have made the push to try to get Colman. I mean, no teams have had workouts with him since he was released by the Patriots. I know that there were a couple teams interested before the Patriots had actually signed him to the roster. I know that the Philadelphia Eagles were one of the teams that were really interested in him, but when the Patriots released him, literally nobody cared. No teams were trying to get the guy. So to me, one of two things probably happened as of why they took him off of the practice squad. One reason is that he just wasn't doing good. The chemistry wasn't with Brady. He was having an issue maybe with what he was having an issue with all around the NFL, with every team that he's been around, and that is actually catching the ball. Bill Belichick's not going to waste his time if you cannot catch the ball. So maybe he just was not doing well with the Patriots whatsoever, and Bill Belichick said, all right, you're done, get out of here. Or the Patriots needed to clear up a spot on the practice squad, and they kind of went down the list and were like, all right, yeah, we're going to release you, I guess. Now, why would they do that? I kind of covered this on my video last night, and I'll briefly talk about it again. So basically, with Julian Edelman coming back, the Patriots need to clear up a roster spot on the 53-man roster. Now, as of yet, they have not even activated Julian Edelman, which means they technically don't need to clear up a roster spot right now. Edelman was seen at the facility with the team today, so obviously he's there. I've talked to some fellow Patriots sources, and they have confirmed that the Patriots have yet to activate him. So once the Pats choose to activate him, that is when they need to take someone off of the 53-man roster. Now, my best guess is that they released Corey Coleman to free up a roster spot on the practice squad because they are going to be releasing a guy from the 53-man roster that more likely than not will clear waivers, and then the Patriots will revert him back to the practice squad. That is my best guess. That is what I feel like is most likely, but obviously nothing is for sure. Pats will be back in practice tomorrow, getting ready for Thursday's game versus the Colts. So if I'm going to be honest, I would expect a move to happen probably tomorrow is my best guess. And if you watched my last video, then you know my best guess on who I think they are going to release is offensive lineman Cole Croston. There's obviously a multitude of guys that they can cut, but I think that is the best chance of getting cut. That's the guy who just seems most likely. He was the guy that got promoted to the 53-man roster this season when Marcus Cannon had to miss versus the Jags. And he has not seen any snap counts since being activated, so it's kind of a pretty good sign that he could be a player that gets cut. But yeah, that's really it for today's video. That's kind of what happened with Corey Coleman. I hope that kind of makes more sense and kind of sheds some light on why they did it. But make sure you guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below, what you're feeling about the whole Corey Coleman getting released from the practice squad. But that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, as it helps me out very much. Make sure you guys share this video with everybody you know so we can grow the Patriots Global family. And other than that, I will catch you guys in another video.